Okay, g'day, welcome back. My name's Nick Fredrickson. We've just gone through the first of 3 videos where we looked at the pre-season preparation, how to log in, season rollover, users and switching between accounts. Now we're moving on to the second of the 3 videos, which is how to set up your program. So this is adding events to the list, checking out the rules if we need to add those, adding dates to the calendar, having a play with the templates and recycling of programs or starting afresh, printing recording sheets and entering results. So this is basically your weekly cycle of what you need to do week on week. So let's just jump in. So I'm back in my demo profile. So let's go back to demo test 1. In here, what we have is the home page, and there's no events that are set up as yet. Okay, so let's jump in. So in here, this is demo LAC 500. So this actually has members and it has events, but we need to go about setting up new events because we need to add some in. So on my home page, I've got this option here to open up the calendar, the help topic on what we're about to do. So this is the static version of the steps we're about to do. So to add a program or add a date to my calendar so we can go and do the recording sheets and enter results and so on. If you go to event, drop down calendar, this is all the previous things that have been uploaded into this demo center. If I go and click on add new, in here I can put in a name for what this is. So we'll call this demo day. I could repeat this, or I could call it program 1, if I can spell program correctly. And then we can give it a date. So let's make it this coming Saturday. I've got the option to create from fresh some events. So this combination that I've just clicked on could be layers of the onion. So that's the first layer of the events that I need to add to my program. So by clicking now add events, when it refreshes, we now have that combination. So think of it like layers of an onion. So we've just built out the first layer. I could add some more events to the same age groups and the same gender, or just a single gender, and put in something else that they're also sharing with the 9s and 10s, and add that in. So now you can see we've got 9s and 10s, they're doing the same events as the 6, 7, 8s. That was a crossover. Now I need to work more on the 9s and 10s and fill out the rest of their events that they might be doing. Obviously I'm just making things up, so if you're wondering, you're doing a pretty bad job of programming, Nick, totally respect that, because I'm not paying attention to the events and the effort and other things. So that's one way. So that's just creating ones from fresh. However, if you've got data in the system from last year and you're recycling those programs, then by going to copy existing meets, I've got all the history that's within this system going all the way back to 2017 of programs that have been ran previously. So if I do want to recycle one without going and building out my onion or the layers of programming for the different age gender events, then I could just click on this, preview it, just make sure it is what I thought. It's like, great, that's what I want. That H means heat, by the way, so these aren't all hurdles, including high jump and long jump and shot put. They're just heats, and that's the default that we use. So if I'm happy with that, I can then just copy that in. Then it's going to go and build out. It shouldn't duplicate if there are existing events like we have already in the system. It should just add the extras that are missing. So now we've got all these extra events that I didn't have to rebuild. So that's another way. So we've done a create from fresh, clicking buttons, we've copied. we may have a template. So the difference between copy existing meet is that you may have tweaked one of these. So you may have copied it from a template, but then you've tweaked it. So if I copy an existing date, it may not be a clean template because we altered it on the day. Maybe it rained or something and we've added events or removed events. Versus if I use a template, this is a static reference. It's more like a stamp. We don't go and edit and change the stamp. We can change what happens on the day once we've applied the stamp. So that's just the difference. So if you do want to set up templates, great. You don't have to. You can just copy existing meet. You just need to be mindful that you may have variation between what you think that meet was. Due to weather, it may have changed. Otherwise, you can do an import from Excel as well. So that's step one, how to add the meets to a calendar. So now if I go to my home page, I'll see I've got this new date and it will have the relevant age, gender events that we asked it to build out for us. So you can see they're all called heats, and here's all the 7s, male, female, 8 male, female, and so on. If there are some events, so I've kind of skipped on to number 3 here, so I'll just backtrack. If there are some events that are missing because you've got some new programming that you need to work on, if I go to more and come into events, this has all the events that are available in the system. I can remove an event, so I've just removed backstroke, and now I could add in something else. So if you come in through here and you've changed events, or you need to add a new event that's just been created for your center, then this is where you can either remove them or add them in. So that was event, sorry, more. I'll just go back a step. So that was in more, then events, and then that's that screen there. If I wanted to add rules, which is the next step here, so that's events. Now with rules, you don't have to have rules, but why would you want rules? So rules will let you display on the recording sheets what it is that you're supposed to do for that event. So if we've got a rule in here, actually let me just find a quick way of doing this. Down here, if there is a rule applied, like here, Frosby, someone's built some rules in here, so let's go have a look. Alright, it's just some junk. So this is our demo center, but basically that's the rule that they've applied. So if we did a recording sheet, that would appear at the top. But let's just do a fresh one. So we'll come up to the top, and I want to apply a rule. Let's go to shot put. Okay, cool. Someone's already got rules in here. So this is the rules for shot put. Please use the below reference boys, girls, age, gender, and weight. So that's a rule. So then when it comes to printing recording sheets, so we've done events, rules, how to add. We've talked about using the template and recycling programs or starting afresh. Now when we go to recording sheets, it's going to build, or it's going to make available recording sheets based on who is in my profile, what age, gender, events I have, and then another layer being what are the rules that I have set up. So I need to click on this button here for recording forms, or come up to the top, go recording forms. It's automatically found the next available date, which is tomorrow. Here's all the events that we built, and here's the different age, gender groups. So if I wanted to, I could just go shot put and long jump, so I just select both of those. And if we quickly go have a look, I can add blank rows because it's the start of the season potentially, so I want some extra rows for people to be able to have a free hand name written on the page because they're not in the system as yet. I've got the option for it to be regular or condensed. I'll show you what that looks like. And I can have it printed either by age group, by event name, or by event number, as in the number of event, the order of events. So if I was an age marshal and all my folders get made up by age group, then this is the default. However, if we had event marshals instead of age marshals, and I want all the shot puts in one folder, then I would change this to the other way. So it would collate all the events together, versus if I did age, it's going to collate all the age groups together, if that makes sense. And then my last option here is, do I want the athletes listed in PB order, number order, as in the number on the chest, last name, first name, or club? So PB is generally the default. And do I just need some blank recording sheets? So I'm just going to go ahead and show you what the regular looks like. So it's built out a new page. It's going to load up with all the age, gender, events. So here's 6 male. For long jump, that's the current record. And there's no athletes in the 6 male. Here's shot put. So here's that rules that we looked at before. So this is where it's gone and inserted that. If I come down here to the 7s, we've now got some athletes for long jump, the record, and so on. So here we can see the athlete's number, first name, last name, the club, and if they had a PB, it would be in that right hand column. Same goes here, and when we get to shot put, we can see the rules are showing in there, and it's the same format. So that's what we call regular, where 1A4, and then if I go print, 1A4 per age, gender, event. So if I change this to portrait, so this is better for bigger centers where they've got lots of names they need to work with. However, not everybody likes a single bit of A4 per age, gender, event. So that's when then we change it from regular to condensed. And if I go preview, it's going to have the same athletes and the same events, but it's going to lay it out quite differently. So 1A4 now should cover off all events. So we can see here we've got the 7 males, and they've got shot put, 3 attempts, the best of, long jump, 3 attempts, the best of for one athlete. So instead of having 2 bits of A4 for the 7 males, I've now just got 1. At least 1 potential page, depending on how many pages that flows over when we go to print. So you can see here that's okay on one page. This one here creeps over because of the blank rows and so on. So that's condensed. So that's condensed versus regular versus adding blank rows or not. I don't have to select these, but if I do, that's their only focus. If we're using timing software, then we don't need the track events printed off by paper because the software will look after them. So generally it's just your field events. Now high jump has a separate button all by itself down here, so I could print it off with normal, but this high jump recording sheet looks a little different if we do this option. So now what it has, no, I don't want this translated, thank you. It's got my attempts, so I can have up to 10 heights and 3 attempts at each height. So it's specific to high jump versus the normal recording sheets are not. You've just got your 3 attempts and your best, your 3 attempts and your best, versus high jump is a different beast altogether with your 3 attempts to pass a height and then hopefully move on to the next height. So that's some of the basics there about the options on this page without getting into detail. One other thing that we haven't looked at is age grouping. If I wanted to group up some age groups to be on the one bit of paper, then that's where I can use the age grouping. Where are we up to? Now we're going to go and enter some results. So the last bit, hopefully the paperwork has come back in nice and neat. I'm able to read it. So I come down to the appropriate date, being the 4th. There's lots of events on this page because there's no results being entered, as in we can see there's participants 0 of 14. So no athletes out of potentially 14 of the under 7 girls haven't had any results recorded as yet. So by the end of the day, in theory, this screen is going to be very short or empty because they all have one or more as a participant and are hidden. I can access them by clicking View Results with results versus without results. So let's just filter. So I've got some 7 mail recording sheets that have just come in, and there's these. So I'm just going to open up all these tabs. So I'm just going to hold the Control key on my keyboard. I'll close some of these tabs up the top so it doesn't get too busy up there. So I'm going to hold the Control, click here. You'll notice there's a new tab. Next one, next one, next one. So basically I've just opened up all the different events for the 7 mail. You can see the names changing. Sorry, the event details changing. Now I'm going to enter in some results. So I click on the blue Enter Edit Results. This is for the 80-meter hurdles. So I'm just going to start by putting in, I don't know, I'll make up some time. So 12.56. If I press Tab, it bounces to the next one. The status changes from DNS, as in did not start, changes to OK, which is great. That's what we want. And then we're going to do 13.21, Tab, 14.23. Now if I press Enter, it's going to save and it's going to alert me. Currently there isn't a record for this event, and so it's asking me that this is potentially a new record. So I'm just going to accept results. And now on my screen, if I sort this, I've got first, second, third. There's the results. It's a PB for these guys, and now that's set as their new season best moving forward for the rest of the season. I can just close that now if I want to and move on to the next one. Enter Edit Results, key in the outcome, press Enter, or press Save, then move on to the next one. I can sort this screen to match my paperwork, so the default is that it's sorted by PB order, which is the way it sorts in the recording sheet screen. But if I need to change it to the other orders here, because I changed them when I printed the paperwork so my paper matches my screen, then I can do that here. So that's just the process. Enter Edit Results, key it in, press Save, move on to the next and close it out. So now if I refresh on this screen, if I go with results, there's this one and it's showing me 7 of 13, and the current best result is this, and there are no center records still acknowledged for that event. Okay, so that's a quick snapshot of setting up your events if they're missing, adding rules if you need to, how to add a date to your calendar, how to build out a program within that date, printing recording sheets, and then entering results. Great, thanks guys. I hope that helped.